Here we are at home instead doing another program for my dog and me, and this one we have a real good program for you, something I was very interested in, and I think many of you would like to know this information because you possibly might be interested in doing it. I'm with Sarah Hunter,
Yes.
and the name of the organization is?
Hard Luck PEMF Wellness.
And what does PEMF stand for?
PEMF stands for Pulse Electromagnetic Fields, okay? And what that is there's a machine here behind us. It is made by MagnaWave. It's the Julian machine. And it creates a pulse and an electromagnetic field with various loops, and we'll kind of go over these as we talk. And this one that I'm holding here is just a loop, and it makes the pulse and the electromagnetic field. And I'll just do a quick turn on here, and I think it'll pick up the pulse.
Can I touch it?
Yep, absolutely. Now I don't have it real high. This machine will go up to
I feel it now, yeah, I feel it pulsing.
20. Now, generally speaking, I don't work on animals at 20. That type of thing is reserved for something that's real bony, like a hoof on a horse. So, so the way this works is this penetrates up to 16 inches into the body. As you can see here on this, it's non-invasive, it's drug-free, depression relief, relief of urinary incontinence, arthritis health, which our friend Max here, that's his big thing. Reduce inflammation, another thing that kind of goes hand in hand with arthritis, and organ health. And so part of the wellness in my business name is that we're trying to create an overall feeling of wellness with a session of PEMF.
Okay, question number one. Why would I do this? Why would I not just go to my veterinarian does laser. How does this differ from laser?
So this differs is a lot of it's the penetration, and this activates the whole body. So it's going to get the blood flowing more. It's going to create oxygenation of the blood. And therefore, by doing that, the oxygen, it gets the blood cells beefed up. And the blood cells can pick up more oxygen. And then the blood cells can help take out toxins out of the body. So it just helps get our body at its maximum wellness.
Well, when we do laser at the vet's office, it's usually done with like a wand or a hammer type thing.
Yeah.
It's not anything
now,
like this
I'm
at all.
not as familiar with the laser, so I can't speak on what all the laser's doing. I can only speak on what this is doing.
Right.
Now, I'm not a vet, so I'm not treating anything unless it is vet ordered. And a lot of vets use these days.
Oh, they do? Okay,
yeah,
that's
so
what I was going to ask you.
something that's getting popular in the vet's office. So when, like Max here, when I'm working on him, I'm doing a session. I'm not treating him. It only becomes treatment if a vet is ordering it.
What I was interested in whenever I was talking to you and I looked this up online, any of the vets that were using this, there was nobody I didn't see anybody in Western Pennsylvania. I saw most of them over in the Ohio region.
Yeah, and I don't know why that is, because there are quite a few people in this area doing it. And I'm just one of a few actually doing it, even right here locally. So there are a number of people doing it. I think most of us have Facebook pages, so you can catch us on Facebook. I know I'm on Facebook. I have a business page. I have a lot of stuff posted on the page about PEMF, and you can go to it and look at it. I have a short video too, and I need to do some other videos, but this is great for all animals. And then even after I got the machine, I didn't even realize it. I saw somebody using this on a plant. And I was I had no idea, like a house plant. They had the coil kind of wrapped up and the house plant sitting inside it.
Well, that would help me because all my house plants die, so there'd be something good about that.
Well, you have to water them, Sue.
Well, I know, that helps if you water. Well, that's why I was interested in this because, as I said, I know that a lot of vets do use laser, but I had never seen this done, and you and I had talked about this a long time ago when you were out at the Bark Park, and we were getting some information, so I wanted to give everybody an opportunity to find out a little bit more about this.
Right.
Okay.
So just the number of things this can help is just tremendous. So, like with Max, like I said, we're working primarily on arthritis. Now, I can't diagnose as I'm working on him what's going on, but what we can see is his owner sees that he can move around better with him. And that's one of the primary things that most people notice with their animals, is that they're moving freer. Their gait might be freer, or they can get up and down the steps easier. So that's something that a lot of owners notice right away.
Yeah, I used the regular laser on a dog that had crucia thing with the knees. And we were doing that for the swelling and to promote healing there. So that's why I was interested in this.
Yes, and this promotes healing as well. It can help speed up the healing process. Now, of course, there are times where you don't want to use this. So if an animal has an open wound that is actively bleeding, because you're wanting to increase circulation, that's a time where you would want to walk away and say, okay, we need that wound to scab over, start to heal a little bit.
Right.
And
that's
then
where the other
go back in.
Right. That's where the other laser works at the vet's offices, because I just had a dog recently that was spayed. And to promote healing, they actually went over the section where the incision was to help that along. Okay, so we got a little bit of a separation there.
Yeah, and so and with this, so like let's say Max here had a hurt paw, okay? We're just saying that. He doesn't, but we're saying, let's say he did. So I would work on his whole body. And that would stimulate his blood flow throughout his whole body. And in doing that, that's going to stimulate the blood flow just in his paw. Even if I never worked on the paw itself, that's going to stimulate the whole body. So you're helping the body as a whole.
Okay, so
while you can focus on areas, absolutely, but initially we want to get the whole body stimulated.
Well, a lot of the things we were talking about whenever you said what it's good for, a lot of those seem to be oriented much more towards an older dog.
You know, you would think that. Now, I've been to a couple dog shows and talked to some people, and I had some people say, well, I don't have the right dog here for that, or I have an older dog, and I think that would be for them. And I'm like, yeah, it's for your older dog, but it can be for your younger dog, too. Dogs are very stoic about
pain.
Yeah, and they will not, it's not like they can talk to us and tell us what's wrong. So this is something like, you got a dog that's growing, and it's growing fast. You know how they can get that limp that comes and goes away, and you might take them to your vet and they say, well, it's just growing pains. This is a nice thing. That can be some inflammation there. So this is a nice thing that you could use in helping that kind of thing too.
Used on dogs, used on horses?
Yes, used on horses. And in some ways,
can it be used on people?
Yes, it can be used on people as well. So it's really neat. Now, in fact, since you brought that up, I'm going to show you something else. So this company, MagnaWave, that my machine is through, they are in the process of doing a more people-oriented geared line. It's going to be called the Aurora Line. And they're working on FDA approval for that line right now. This is considered a Class 1 device, which means anybody can buy it, anybody can use it. So the company offers training. I've done their training. I'm considered certified through them. But you don't have, like, if you want one of these, a machine, they make all different sizes. You can get on their page and buy one, and you don't have to do the training, all the extra training.
Oh no!
You can just get one and use it. So
this is my new friend.
He's everybody's friend, and he really is. You know, while he's Mr. Protector, he's a lover at heart. I think he loves everybody.
All right, let's go back to what are the other options here.
So for people, just something I brought to show you. So my sister had a back surgery, a couple years ago, and the doctor gave her this. And the way this is, it just kind of Velcros, and it Velcroed around her middle. And she would wear this for an hour or something every day. So she would wear this, and it was pre-programmed and everything. And I said, let me see that, to her one day.
Yeah.
And I looked at the name. It's called an Ortho Fix. And I looked them up online, and I'm like, that's PEMF. This is doctor-prescribed PEMF in this thing. So they are prescribing it after surgery sometimes. So this is a company that does that sort of thing for people, specifically for after back surgeries. And this is very low. Like, I can change this. This is already pre-set up for a certain amount and a certain amount of sessions for people. So this was just something I thought was neat, and I brought it in today just to kind of show you as something else that is out there. you know, and that doctors are using
So
on a pretty
to find
regular
out
basis.
more, and we'll talk about this, but they can go to PEMF.com.
Well, they can look it up as like a PEMF and that, or they could go to the MagnaWave website. The MagnaWave themselves has some great stuff. They can go to my Facebook page too. I have a lot of the stuff. A lot of the stuff this is straight from the MagnaWave page. So you can go to that page and you can see a lot of the stuff and how it works more and get a more in-depth look at it.
Oh, okay,
so
good.
it's kind of nice. And then this is one I made up, and see Max here is our poster boy
there you
here.
are, Max. You're up there on that poster. What can I tell you?
Now, something else that is important when we do a session is that the animal has water available to it. Water is a big thing that they stay hydrated. It helps with this whole blood cell thing, boosting up those blood cells, allowing them to get big and flow better. And even if you aren't doing this, drinking water is so important. Hydration.
You know, it's funny you're saying that, because if whenever I've gone to give blood or have a blood work done, and if they're having trouble finding my veins,
they say drink water.
Drink a whole container of water before you come, and I've done it, and I go in and bingo, they've got it in a heartbeat.
Well, you know, and
It
it's
really
kind of
works.
along this line. Before I started doing this, it's been a year or two before I got my machine. I'm a breast cancer survivor myself. As part of my chemo, it was drink water, drink water,
Sure.
drink water. And I was drinking up to like 5 bottles at least of water every day to help just flush things out of my system.
Right.
So it's amazing how much water alone can do, but then how much this works all together, getting the body working.
Okay, what else we need to know about this before we try?
I'm going to show you a few other attachments I have. So
Okay.
this here, I just have the coil wrapped up. This is known as the Zoom paddle, and there's coils in here. I liken this to like a spotlight. This is really nice for medium to small size dogs that are really mobile, and Max is just kind of chilling here on the floor.
Right,
You see,
he's not real mobile. He's not
he could care less.
No.
But they're real active, so I get right down on the floor and I'll use this on them instead of, like, say, the loop, because I can move around with them and so on.
What's the range of sessions? The
So
shortest to longest?
Typical session for dogs is 20 minutes. And I set the machine to the dog. So by that I mean, like, so this machine goes from 1 to 20. Dogs are typically in the somewhere between 1 to 3 range, depending on their size. The smaller the size, typically the lower the range I'm at. Max here, we usually do about at a 3. Granted, from one day to the next, an animal can change as to what they're comfortable with, and they'll let you know what they're comfortable with by either moving away, and you can see that it doesn't feel good to them if the machine's too high, or if it's too low. Conversely, they're just kind of like, whatever, and you'll notice releases with them. Well, he pants all the time.
Well, I know, I
it's
want
still
like that too.
considered a release, but they'll yawn. Also, they'll lick their lips, and it's the same in horses. Horses have that same release, where they'll yawn, they'll smack their lips, they'll lick their lips, and that's a sign that they're releasing. They're feeling some sort of, whether you want to call it pressure, whatever, they're feeling some sort of relaxation release. So that's one of the signs we look for.
So the intensity is one factor, and the other one is how long.
How long?
So
yeah.
how long you do it, and what the intensity is when you do it. So you got those two variables.
Yeah,
or
so
the two
those
main
can be
ones.
variables.
Okay.
And the animal itself is a variable. So what one animal might be comfortable with,
anything.
another animal is not the same. So now you've got what he needs. So anyway, so yeah,
What
that
is
varies
this?
for me. It's just a piece of dried chicken.
Dried chicken.
Yep.
Either that or just pet him. He loves being petted.
I'll put this in my pocket in case we need it at a later time.
To not eat you.
Okay, what's this one here?
Okay, so now this one here is the small butterfly loop, and this is nice. You could put a paw in here. You can put this around the leg of a horse, like that. So just a different way. And a lot of times when I'm starting out with horses, when I'm working on horses, I will start out with this attachment. And I'll do what I liken to a scan with their body.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And I'll go over their body, and with them, their muscles are very reactive because you have it a little bit higher, and you'll see twitching and pulsing in their muscles. So that can be an indication of inflammation. And so what this is doing is it's sending the pulse down into the body. And then if it
I
hits
should never
something,
started with you.
hits something like a bone
Yeah.
or possible inflammation,
Oh,
possible inflammation, that pulses back at you and that creates a vibration.
we're not doing that.
Sue, I think you've won them over.
No, I have, but you know what? I have a dog that does that same thing with that pawing. And when you don't have long pants on, you're destroyed.
Oh, yeah. There's been a few days that
there
I've
you go.
worked on
Okay.
him in shorts, and he
gets you. Oh,
he'll get
my
me,
legs
yeah.
are a mess from it.
So, and then
Okay.
just to continue on, and then I have this pet mat, and it just lays on the floor, and they can lay on it. If I have an animal,
This only comes one size?
this is
Doesn't
their
it?
large size,
Okay.
unfortunately. But I usually, my corgi will sit on this. He's real low attention span. He's like 10 minutes and he's like, I'm done, I'm out. And he takes off and he doesn't sit for very long. And
Now, which one do we do with Max?
with Max, we're going to use this loop. But I'll show you the other loop I have. Loops, I should say, plural. And then I'll move this over here so you have a place to sit down.
No, that's
if you
okay. I'm
want
just
to,
standing here.
When I
I'm
start
trying to
working
get
on
away
Max.
from my best friend over here.
Well, soon I'll start working on them, and then. So after I go over a horse with those butterflies, I have these. These are called large wave wings, and you can kind of throw them up over the horse, and these drape down either side, and they can stimulate large areas of muscles. And then I can move them up along the horse, and they work on the horse's body. I can open them up like this. Do it lengthwise.
What would make an owner of a horse or a dog do this?
Well, if you have a dog, like, you know how I said I went to the dog show,
Right.
and you're taking them into the ring, and you're wanting a certain performance out of them.
Especially the agility ones and stuff like
Right.
that. All right, gotcha.
Then doing this is just another way to keep them at their peak. So you're asking them to perform at a certain level. You know, you've got to accommodate them some too. You can't just expect them to go out there and do it, you know, and it just be okay all the time. I mean, I think there's a certain point where you want to stimulate their muscles. You want to make sure they're feeling good to get those performances out of them. So even like I said, when you think they're okay, sometimes something like this can just be really nice to make sure of it.
Would it be worthwhile for somebody who does a lot of agility with their dogs to get one of these machines?
It could be, or have sessions, you know, either one. I was up at Countryside Agility just Saturday.
Okay, right, with Denise up
Yes,
there. Right.
yeah, she's very
Know her
nice,
well.
and I worked on a couple dogs up there. I worked on a little poodle, and she wasn't running him that day. And she said to me, she's like, "Well, do you think this could help?" And I was like, "Bring him over, you know, we can't hurt. We'll find out. Let's do some." Worked on him for about 25 minutes with the Zoom paddle, and she walked away, took him back to put him in his crate, and she was like, he feels normally. He was bouncing around, he was happy. He hasn't been like that in several days. So she really felt like it helped him. And then there was another gal who had a Sheltie, and
Which is always a lot of Shelties up there.
yes,
And Border Collies, too.
and the dog was having some trouble with the muscles in through here, and so I worked on that dog. And then she was asking me if I would notice the difference in the dog, and I was like, well, it won't be me so much as it'll be you that'll
Sure.
notice, because you know what's normal for your dog. And there was another gal there who did massage for dogs, and she was going to work on that dog later, and I told her to let me know if she noticed a difference in the muscles, if they felt looser because it'd been MagnaWave. Because
A lot of those agility people use that chiropractor, too. I've seen them
right,
have him
and there
up
was
there.
a girl I worked on her dog over at the Canfield Dog Show, and she had the chiropractor do some stuff before I worked on it. And they marry well, you know, they work well together, both massage and chiropractic. So, and this.
Okay, so I have a dog that has he's old. She's 11. She really has struggles. She struggles to get up and down, everything like that. What's it cost for me to have someone like you come in and start this and then see if we do a package? Give me an idea here.
So right now my rates run a 20-minute session is $30, and that's for within like a half an hour travel area, and I come to you.
That's not very much at all.
No, I try to keep it very affordable. Now I can do, like for horses, a lot of people want like a 40-minute session, and then basically just double that price.
So it was a 20-minute session was how much?
$30.
$30. Okay.
Now, and different people charge different rates. We live in what I consider kind of a depressed area, so people aren't spending a lot of money. You know, they don't want to spend a whole lot. A lot of places you're looking at $75 to $100 a session for this, but here I try to keep my rates low.
And you always go to a person's house?
I try to,
or someplace like that.
Or I've been going to dog shows or to somebody's stable, you know, who has multiple horses that I might work on. And if I have to go further away, the more horses I can work on, the actual better price I can do. Does that make sense? So like if I'm going out of the half an hour distance, then the more animals you have, the better off it is for me.
So I know when you do laser, because I've done laser with my dogs. We started whenever we had the bad knee or whatever it was.
Right.
We started with, I think we started 3 days a week or 4 days a week. And then we went to 3 days a week, and then we went to twice a week, and then we went to once a week, and we continued once a week for a long time as maintenance. Is this the same idea? If you do this, do you encourage people to start it and then... Do you encourage a one-time shot with this, or do you really encourage a routine to it where you continue to do it over a long period of time?
I think a routine is a fabulous thing to get into, but I also encourage people to know their dog and to watch for the results. So what I'm getting at here is if a dog has had a problem for multiple years, you're not going to have me come in and work on it with the machine and have some miracle happen.
Correct.
And it's just miraculously better. One shot probably won't do it. Might you see some relief in the animal? Sure. But will one shot necessarily, you know, take care of things? No, it's not a cure for anything. It can just help with things. So in that sense, yes, I would recommend maybe a maintenance, and you do it based on the animal. So I tell people is to watch your animal, let me know what they need. Tell me when you need me to do it again. We can set up something, but also I don't want to take people's money either. And there was a friend of ours that had me working on his dog some, and I told him finally, I'm like, I think you just need to take him to the vet. Yeah. He needs to go get some x-rays. He was having we thought maybe some ligament. We were only guessing, we're not vets. Go take him to the vet, find out what's going on.
Right, and this would certainly work with pain medication or anything else like that in addition to it. It could.
Well, what it can help is the uptake of the medication of the animal. So it can help them metabolize it better and can help it actually work better. And that might sound weird, but that all comes back to the blood flow thing.
Is there anybody out there that has anything negative to say about this?
I'm sure there is, but I haven't really talked to anybody other than maybe they might say it just doesn't work for me.
Okay. And that could be based on the fact that it wasn't into a routine or it wasn't long enough.
It could be. So
there's a lot of factors there.
Yes. So perfect example is the first time I used this, and I actually did it myself, you know, on me, the first time I had it done, I don't think I drank enough water, even though I drank quite a bit. And I also think I had the machine too high. And I had what's called a Herxheimer reaction, where I felt worse before I felt better.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, all right.
So in that sense, I learned to turn down the machine. Lower really can be better. You know, just because it will go high doesn't mean it should go high. And go slow with it. Drink plenty of water. And obviously with animals, you can't force them to drink, but make sure it's there and offered to them.
Dogs, horses.
Livestock of any type.
Livestock.
Dairy.
Cats? Have you done cats?
Cats are absolutely doable. Granted, cats, oftentimes getting them to
nuts.
sit still. Yeah, another thing. But yeah, it can be for cats too. So it's really neat.
Well, now let's introduce Lon, who is the owner. You better give him a good introduction here.
a good introduction.
Step over this way, Lon.
Yeah,
I'm going to
he
switch
drove
places
over.
with you.
Come on over, Lon.
And I'm going to switch places with you.
So this is Lon. He is Max's owner. Max, are you going to come over? I got a piece of chicken for you.
Come.
He's like, oh, you said my magic word.
Let's talk about Max. How much does he weigh?
200 pounds.
200 pounds. This is the biggest dog I've ever dealt with, I think. 200 pounds. How old?
He's 10.
I'll ask you a bunch of questions. What colors do they usually come in?
Brindle, fawn, and apricot.
What's this considered brindle?
This is brindle.
Okay.
And brindles can come in multiple kinds. They'll
Correct.
do like a reverse brindle. He obviously he has a lot of black in him.
And how long do they live? Can you get 7, 8 years out of them?
Their
Are we
average
kind of pushing it?
their average lifespan is from 6 to 8. They
I would
say.
think.
He's 10. He's doing well, and this does make it.
This makes a difference.
This makes a difference.
Okay. And how long have you been doing this?
What do you figure? Since spring, or was it
Yeah.
before that?
How many sessions do you think we've had?
We
10?
really haven't. Probably have we had even 10 yet? Probably getting close to that. Yeah.
Okay.
So, and he just usually lets me know, hey, Max needs something, or I'll be like, hey, I got the MagnaWave in the truck. Do you want me to
Come over.
swing by and work on Max? And
Because
he'll let
how,
me know.
how I can tell when he needs it is steps. Going up to my house,
Right.
I only have three steps, but I know when he needs it, he's a little iffier doing them steps.
Yeah, and I've seen him when he's going up the steps, his back end seems to give out on him.
I have one.
So-
Same problem
Yeah.
with one.
So what now? He's just wearing it like a necklace, and so that's stimulating the shoulder area.
Why wouldn't you use the one that goes on both sides?
While he is pony-sized.
Yeah, he is pony.
He is pony-sized. Sometimes I think with him, that's going to almost cover all of him, and I don't want to try to stimulate too much at once. Does that make sense?
Well, it does, but now with this, will there be the same stimulation on the front of the body as there is
Well,
on the
I'm
back?
going to move it to the back. So I'm going to
eventually.
move. Yes, so I'll move this around during the session.
But are you going to have to stand him up and put his feet in it?
Nope.
Okay, you can
Because
just lay it on there?
Because it penetrates up to 16 inches, that's the nice thing about it. It's penetrating down in there. And I've had issues too with my Corgi where if he just sat in the loop and it actually wasn't touching it, he'd still be getting the benefits
Okay.
of it. So
All
that's
right.
the nice thing about how it penetrates into the animal.
So what number do you use on him?
So right now he's at a 3.
Oh, it's on now?
Yep, it's on right now. I don't know if you can hear the ticking.
I can.
Yeah, so it's ticking, and that's the pulse of the PEMF, the pulse, and that's penetrating into them. And so sometimes I'll play with it and see like what kind of mood he's in. And so there's 4, and there was the lick sack. So maybe he's a 4 today. See how now he's wanting to lay over and he's going, oh, this feels good.
Well, that's interesting.
So sometimes you can see things. Now, if he gets too restless, I'll turn it down. He's deciding right now. I think he's going, maybe, yes.
Maybe 4, maybe 3.
Maybe 3. He's kind of an in-between guy. So a lot of times I'll err on the side of caution and I'll go lower. Because I never want them to have a bad reaction.
Can you put 2 on him at the same time? This.
Okay, so that I'm glad you brought that up. Give me 1 second. I'll grab it because you brought something up that's kind of neat. And I'm making noise. I have what's called a splitter, and I can hook up 2 attachments at once. I don't.
Oh, onto there, you mean?
Onto
Right.
there, yeah. I don't usually do it though because
Could you do him on one attachment and another dog on another?
yes.
Okay.
But the problem is they're both going to be at the
Have to be at
same
4s.
intensity.
Okay.
So if one's at a 4, the other one's at a 4. And because they don't necessarily always like the same intensity, then that's kind of why I stay away from it, you know? To me, it's just, it's a bit much, you know what I mean?
Well, now, Lon, if we ever get that he can walk up all those steps to the 2nd floor here, then we'll do a whole program on what? He's a what? English master.
Yes. But instead, my other one,
Can
he's
he
younger.
do it? He can do the steps.
He's worse about doing steps compared to this.
Doesn't he like them at all? You know, I have a ramp. My collie's 11 and a half, the one that I got from somebody, and she struggles a lot. And if I bring her up the steps, 3 steps, she'll get the front paws up, and then all of a sudden the back end just sits down because she can't get any further, so I'm back there lifting. So I went into a ramp so that I could get her up all the time. So she does much better on the ramp, but not on steps.
Well,
she can
that's
go down steps, but not up.
That's kind of what he was doing here today. And you brought up about the other. I'm going to steal the loop for a minute, Max. I know. So this is a little clacker. This is, if you're not sure if something's working right, like the mats are very quiet, and it's like, is that actually working? This little clacker, and that's picking up the pulse. So that's how you can tell that it's working. All right, Max, let's move it on your back
I'm interested
end.
with the people with the bad backs. Back surgery has to be the very worst thing in the world that can happen to anybody.
Right. So
And backs, it would certainly be great for someone like that.
So I use this on myself because I have a herniated disc.
Yeah, there you go.
And I also have really bad arthritis in through here, and I love it for myself. So
Can you be washing dishes and have it on or something like that?
Well, you're
probably go
thinking
poof.
more of like the thing my sister had. Yeah, she would actually wear it at work. So she'd do her morning session at work. But I actually have a big mat that I got for myself. I'm not gonna lie, when I got the machine, that is for people that you can lay all out on it. And it's got a little headrest. It's a travel mat, and I will do 20-minute sessions for myself with that.
There's the
and I
other thing
absolutely
that
love it.
you can get from physical therapy. I think it's the electrodes that you can put for like 4 places on your body and turn that up. Did you ever have that line? I've
So
had that done.
are you thinking the 10s? So
Yes, 10s.
So how this difference from the
Yes,
10s,
good answer,
that was
because a lot of
something
people
that
probably
we
know
talked
that.
about it before, I know, was that the 10s, a lot of times people put those little nodes on their back. It stimulates that area.
But not the whole thing
Not
like
the
this.
whole body the way this does. So with the idea of this stimulating the whole body, you just get really a little more benefit from it. Now, and I don't want to sound like I'm knocking the 10s by any means, because it's very helpful.
I was just curious.
And just like the laser stuff, all the stuff is very helpful, and a lot of them pair really well together. Like you might use this some and then use the laser also. The MagnaWave company sells some sort of laser, LZR, I think it's called, or I don't know if that's their laser, but they sell a lot of stuff that's very neat and works really well for healing and wellness.
So if he's on a 4, if we were to put this as it is now onto a smaller dog, it would be extremely intense.
It might be too high.
Too much.
It might be too high for me.
I could
Like
put
I said,
it on my little 14-year-old Shih Tzu that drives me crazy and see what it does.
and he'd probably
No, I'm only
just kind of
kidding.
like be like,
we're not doing
nope,
that.
we're out. Yeah.
No, he'd say, I don't like this plan.
And the whole idea is to make sure that they have a good experience, and that's something is really my goal, is that the animal has a really good experience, and I really try to push that. And you can see Max knows that I always have some treats on me.
I noticed that. I've got one in my pocket in case he decides he's going to give me attention again. Hey, just going to ask you something else about him doing this. I just forgot what I was going to ask you about this. Oh, I know what it was. So for a person, would a 20-minute session work for a person too?
Yes, I see no reason why it wouldn't. That's typically what I do for myself. So, but that's not something I really specialize in with that. You get into people and it's a whole nother ball of wax. You got to worry about what they have implanted in their body, meaning like pacemakers
or like my hips and my knees.
Cochlear implant.
Yeah.
It's not so much those, although when I caught this, I have a physical therapist that I was going to, involving the breast cancer stuff for lymphedema, and that was part of the reason too. And I haven't used it as much as I should for lymphedema, but I had talked with her about using it for lymphedema for myself, and she was talking about the old machines, not necessarily the MagnaWave brand, but they used to use it quite a bit in physical therapy, and she was telling me that at one time you had to be careful that the person didn't have any metal on their body, and she was talking about some man's zipper was some metal, and he got burnt from it.
That happened too, right?
Because it created some sort of heat. That's not really the case with these today. So the only thing that I really have to watch, like if I was working on a steer and it was in a steel chute or something, you can get some spark off of that, just because all that metal. But for the most part, as far as implants go, because they're made out of titanium, they don't really conduct heat the way things used to. But what it does affect is things that have batteries. So pacemakers, cochlear implants, that's another one. Car keys. My car keys are over there, as is my cell phone.
My cell phone's in my pocket. Think it makes a difference? Better not.
For
my cell phone, I don't care if it
I'm not going to lie. Half the time, mine's in my pocket too.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it's about long term. One of the training videos, one of the girls was saying that I watched. One of the girls was saying, "Yeah, I made the mistake of being at a show somewhere all day, working on animals all day, and then had my keys in my pocket and that key fob. I went to go leave. Suddenly the key fob's not working, and leaving wasn't happening." So
a good idea for someone who was breeding a particular breed that was prone to certain type of stiffness or soreness or muscle issues, and get the whole machine for them.
Right, it could be. And like I said, they have different, this is probably one of their, they had a bigger machine when I bought this, and they quit making it for a while. I'm not 100% sure why. The bigger machine, the one that was one step up. But there's a lot of smaller machines that are very reasonable price. Don't get me wrong, we're still talking thousands of dollars, but they're still really good machines. They might not go as high as this machine is, but honestly, you rarely need that higher end.
Lon, what talked you into this, to do this for your dog? Just curiosity and just said to give it a shot?
Because of seeing him kind of limp a little bit and then doing the steps. I had him on pain meds.
Right.
Now he takes half the dose. And instead, I see the results from it.
How did you find out about it? Did you run into Sarah at a dog show or something?
We worked together.
Oh, okay, all right.
And I was actually pretty good to him, because I think I was like, Lon, I'll give you the first one free.
Yeah. Should have made a good
Try it out.
Give them all for free. That's what you should have made a deal here. For every demonstration, huh?
Well, he has got a few free for coming in here today.
Oh,
so
that's good. That's
so
good.
I was like, why don't I give you a few free for coming in here today and using up some gas to come in here and do this for us?
I noticed the difference. Probably not so much the first time, but it was after the second time, I noticed a difference.
Have you tried it on the other one, the other dog?
No.
Okay.
No, because he's still
nuts. He's still able to get around.
Yeah.
Huh. And Hard Luck, is Hard Luck PEMF?
So Hard Luck, where that came from, is my husband used to run coon dogs, and he used that as his prefix when he was registering the coon dogs. So my first couple of pets, home pets, we had a German Shepherd first. We were able to name him on his registration papers, and so I just put Hard Luck as his prefix.
Yeah.
And my Corgi that I have now, because I downsized after the German Shepherd, he got the Hard Luck prefix as well. And it's kind of our little joke too that, if it wasn't for Hard Luck, we wouldn't have any luck at all.
Right.
So sometimes you feel like that, and so I thought this was still appropriate for this, that people might be having some hard luck with their dogs, but let's fix that,
If they want to find you, if they can also go online and look up PEMF.
I don't know how it'll pop up like on there, but if you look up Hard Luck PEMF Wellness, I'm on Facebook. If you look it up on Facebook, I also just started an Instagram, which I'm still new to that. I have one video posted.
But I think I looked. I don't think I looked on Facebook. I thought I looked on a website. I think I was looking up the PEMF.
I don't know. I think I
find some information.
MagnaWave just updated their website, and they have a map and practitioner map where you can pin yourself. And I'm pinned on that map, so you might be able to find me on that.
That's where I found it, because I found all those ones in Ohio. There were so many down to Ohio, and some of the ones funny you say that. I'm going to do a program pretty soon on holistic medicine. And there was a few of the places over in there that I know were into holistic medicine for dogs, and they were talking about this.
Talking about PEMF, yeah. And like you said, it's holistic. So that's one of the nice things about it.
Yes.
You know, that you're not giving them another drug. It's not something else that's going to have this whole mess of adverse side effects. It's stimulating the body.
Right.
And to do good things.
So let's say, how again do they find you? Hard Luck
PEMF. On,
Yell it nice and
I know,
loud.
it's a mouthful.
Hard Luck.
PEMF Wellness on Facebook and the same on Instagram. I also now have one of those, Instagram gives you those little things you can scan. So Sarah Hunter 94, it might come up as, that was the year I graduated high school. I needed something, so.
Well, they can go on to our Doggy Digest too, or wherever else, or the Pet Cemetery. I can get them in touch with you.
Yeah, you're welcome to do that. And I have business cards that I give out to people, and if I'm set up at a dog show or a horse show, stop over and say hello. Also, if you're at a dog show or horse show, just watch and see if somebody else is set up doing this.
Yes.
You know, it's something that your animal definitely could benefit from.
Okay, well, is there anything else that we need to know? Anything else that I'm forgetting to ask you that we want to make sure we cover?
I think we've covered pretty much everything. We've talked about a lot of stuff. I can mention a few other things. We've talked about blood circulation. We've talked about pain relief, depression, organ health, arthritis, inflammation reduction. That's the big thing that we push, is reducing inflammation, because that helps you just feel good.
It makes a big difference with the dogs,
I think
that's
we've
for
covered
sure.
a lot. Offering the animal lots of water. So I think we've really talked about everything.
Okay, good. Thank you for doing this. I appreciate it. We met one other time.
Yes.
You came in whenever I was at the dog park, and I pushed a lot of questions with you that day too.
You
but now
did.
at least we've got it on film this time. Now,
Well, I thank you for having me
That's
today.
okay. Thank you very, very much. And Lon, thank you for coming in. And is this Max?
Yes, Max.
Max, good for you coming in too.
You
Yeah,
hear
you
that?
have no
You got-
interest in me
You
anymore.
got the attaboy, Max.
Okay, thanks very much. I appreciate it.
Thank
Thank
you,
you
Sue.
too, Lon. Bye-bye.